Hello, hello, hello. My name is Elmo. You may have seen me before, you may have not. You probably have heard my voice. I am on a podcast with a woman named Inger, and the name of the podcast is Brutally Honest Talk Radio. Let's say it again. Brutally Honest Talk Radio. Brutally Honest Talk Radio. Brutally Honest Talk Radio. So it is a podcast where you hear us and there's audio, but once in a while we're going to throw in a video, throw in a mini episode in between the main episodes to cover other things, and we want to keep you informed and entertain you and not lose you. We need you. So we want you to be a part of the show. So what is it? Brutally Honest Talk Radio. And like I said, did I say already? You could find the show on YouTube by doing a search on Brutally Honest Inger. If you just put those three words in, that it probably will come up. So, Inger is the host. I am the commentator. And we drive this show about being conservatives in America, things that are related to people in America, American life, mainly politics and news, also crime, taxes, anything that may affect society. There's an election coming up, so we're talking a lot about that. And we're, of course, trying to get people to see our point of view. It is an agenda, but it's not a hidden agenda. So, I'm sure we said some things, and we're going to say some things that you never heard before, which is kind of the purpose of a podcast or any show existing, that there's something different about it or the identity of it. So, here we go with a mini episode. Here we now go. Okay, so you may have heard this thing about the George Floyd case, not really about the case, but about the history of Floyd. And Candace Owens was talking about him and part of his criminal history before all of this happened. Sometime in the past, years ago, he was involved in a home invasion where there was a group of guys that broke into this woman's house. So there was one guy approached the door dressed like somebody worked for the phone company or the heating and air company, and he had on a uniform. And when she saw him, before she realized that he wasn't who she thought he was, he opened the door, and then he and 3 or 4 other men, including Floyd, rushed the door. And there's a story going around about Floyd put a loaded gun to this woman's stomach, who was pregnant at the time. So PolitiFact said that is incorrect. And I just want to be right and fair and honest. I'm a fan of Candace Owens, and I've been following her for a long time. She's a very intelligent, a great conservative and leader. But that is not right. I trust PolitiFact, and their record stands strong. And the only reason I can think of why she said this is because she heard it from someone else, or someone gave her some false information. Conservatives and people on the right are about telling the truth, and that is our weapon, is to be honest. Means saying how you really feel, but there's only one truth. There's not your truth, my truth, his truth, her truth. There's only one truth, okay? 4 plus 4 is 8. 10 times 10 is 100 forever. That's always going to be the truth. So this is something that didn't happen, and I just wanted to say that for other people that may have heard it. You don't want to keep spreading something that's not true. He does have a criminal record. He was arrested and convicted multiple times before this incident, but that part of it is not true, which is attempted murder of 2 people, really, the woman and the baby that she's carrying. So, I just want to be fair about that. Okay, There was a term a long time ago called reverse discrimination. This came out of basically black people treating white people the way that black people were treated when we were discriminated against by white folks. And just want to say that the way that I feel about that is it's discrimination. Just call it that. Call it discrimination or racial discrimination if it happens. But it's not reverse. You don't have to do that. You're not throwing anything in reverse. It's not about getting back at the man. It's just discrimination. And I haven't heard it in a long time, but that's because the media, they kind of generate the lingo, the narrative, the buzzwords that are being used by society. And, these words like redacted, dedacted, narrative, white privilege, dossier, any of that. These words that come up, if you notice, when something is trending or something is a popular word in the media, then people pick it up, and now it's a common thing. So there is no reverse discrimination. There's just discrimination. Okay, now I got to talk about Nick Cannon. You remember Nick Cannon from Drumline and Wildin' Out? So he got fired. He got let go from Viacom, I think it was the company that he worked for, because of comments that he made considered anti-Semitic and against Jewish people. The first thing that I heard was him saying that black people are the original Hebrews, which is not right. I don't know where that came from, where he got that from. Jewish means a descendant of Abraham. There are some brown or dark people in that region, but he said black people. And when I hear that, I'm thinking from clearly African people from inside Africa. Dark people, my people, African people. So that was wrong. And that was all I heard at the beginning. And then I heard some other comments or worse comments. He said that anybody with melanin, very little melanin rather, or no melanin at all, is an animal. Before he said this, he said, now I want to be careful about how I say this. And then he said something that it seemed like he wasn't being very careful about. But it was wrong for him to say. It was racist for him to say that a group of people is in any way inferior or weak because of their lack of melanin in their skin. And I guess at some point after that, he remembered or was reminded that he worked for Jewish people or had a Jewish boss. Okay, now I'm going to jump around to something totally different because I don't have a lot of time. And I want to talk about this Dollar General robbery, this attempted robbery, this holdup. And some guy comes into a Dollar General and he points a gun at the clerk, or he's waving a gun around. The clerk shoots him. And then that same day they interview his brother and sister, I believe, but definitely his sister was this woman that they interviewed. And so she says that the clerk was wrong for shooting him, and that people shouldn't be having a gun at work. People shouldn't be having a gun at work. Police officers have guns at work. Not only that, but they have guns that do work. So my only comment about that is I need a gun at work if at the place where I work, people like this guy is coming in there trying to stick me up. Then I need a firearm. I need something to defend myself. My man Fauci, the man is sending out these trials for COVID-19 to help people. I believe it's a medicine that they're testing to see if it can help people with COVID-19, and they're sending out 30,000 trials, and half of those are going to be placebos. So that's a good idea. That's a good tactic. I think that they should send it out. It's definitely several 100,000 people that have coronavirus now that they can send it to who can use it. And it's also good that it's a placebo, because then they won't act a certain way based on what they're taking. And there should be a distinct difference between the people that are actually taking the drug or the people that are taking the placebo, which is a fake, phony, made up version of the drug, what should be the drug. So that's a good thing. I like hearing about stuff like that. Okay, the Democrat Party seems to be a party that's on a long train that's heading off of a cliff or headed for self-destruction. And one of the things that's doing this to the party is they cater to a lot of special interest groups. And with I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of deal. I give you money, I give you free stuff in exchange for you voting for me, things like that. Whatever you want. Let me know what you want. You special interest group, whatever segment of the union, if it may be Mexicans under 45, that their roots trace back to Tijuana, and they also come from a family of 5, whatever. Like, there's a list of the confines to qualify for this group. You're a part of that group, and there's so many different special interest groups now. There's so many different IOUs that they have. You can't cater to every special interest group. You just can't do it. There's the party isn't big enough. The people at the top, or the senators, congressmen, it's not enough of them. Even on the local level, and the state level, it's not enough. And that's one of their reputations. One of the things that they're known for is for catering and representing a certain group. And so you can't go on doing that forever. The point of diminishing returns. The splitting of the atom over and over and over and over and over and over. And over and over and over and over. And over and over. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. This is just a quick sample of some of the things that we talk about. And we want to say things that no one else is saying, even though it may be some topics that other people are talking about. So remember, you would go to YouTube and you would type in Brutally Honest Talk Radio or Brutally Honest Inger. Then we come up, and you can go to any one of our web pages, any one of our episodes, and then there's that nice, pretty red subscribe button. Click on that. And you can also follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter account. We can't reply or comment on all the comments that we get, but we would like for you to follow us. And then also, if you have anything that you want to say or comment about an episode, or if you have something that you want us to talk about, you want to see how we feel about it, then you would send that comment to brutehonest.radio@gmail.com. That's brutehonest.radio@gmail.com. So that's it. Take care, and I'll see y'all on the podcast. Bye.